Hey guys! Welcome to Always Remember Me. Again, I played this I played the demo like forever and ever ago on like Valentine's Day or something. And I said I'd end up doing it again. So we're gonna do it for Storybook Sundays. So yeah, let's hop right in. We gotta start a new game because the other one was on a demo thing or whatever. Easy difficulty, normal difficulty. Let's just go normal. We'll just do the standard intro again because I can't really remember much. It was like 2 years ago, or no, it was only like a year ago that I did this. So we'll get a refresher. I'm pretty sure I know what happens, but we'll do it again. We were walking together, hand in hand, watching as the sun descended beneath the horizon. What? Save? Oh, what? Oh, look at that. I do actually have my saves. But like I said, we'll just start over. Because I don't remember anything of this. We'll just overwrite that save right there. Okay, return. Okay, anyway. We were walking hand in hand. Yes we were. Next. Oh. The evening was wearing on, and the warm colors of twilight were starting to fade from the sky. I don't know what to do. You're doing enough. Don't worry about things so much. But he still doesn't approve of me. Do you think he doesn't like my job? Maybe he thinks it doesn't earn enough money. Or that I should be doing something better. I would like to do more, but it's the best part-time job I could find. His eyes were sympathetic as he looked down at my worried expression. I know he feels bad that his father, Osher, was creating so much grief for us, but I also knew that the situation was going to be difficult when I decided to stay with him. I don't think it's your work. He can be pretty stubborn. I know. Some people think that I could do better. It's not like a job at an ice cream parlor is anything special. I am attending my first year of college for creative writing. It's a natural fit, since I've always loved to write poetry and prose. I had to take a part-time job during the summer to pay for my studies. Some girls in my classes have really good summer jobs. Honestly, I don't think he'd approve of any girl without a lot of persuading first. I don't think it's anything personal. He's just being stubborn. Yes, but after all this time, I really thought that he would have warmed up to me by now. He just doesn't understand that we're serious about our relationship. Or he doesn't want to understand. It's just so exasperating since everyone else has been so supportive of us. Oh, I was supposed to be angry there. He'll come around eventually. It's just a matter of time. I hope so. I just wish he wouldn't object almost every time he finds out we're going on a date. I know. But it'll get better soon, I promise. We reached the staircase that led back to the boardwalk and parking lot. Even over the sand dunes, I could see where Aaron's motorcycle was parked. We were about to ascend the stairs when he stopped and turned around to face me. He took my other hand in his and leaned down, gently kissing me on the lips. I couldn't help but smile, slightly, feeling an anxiety melt away. Don't look so worried all the time, okay? You're much more beautiful when you're smiling, Amy. I returned the smile and leaned up to kiss him again. You're such a romantic. You make it sound like a bad thing. We both laughed as we ascended the stairs, still hand in hand. This is definitely how it should be. I always feel so safe with him at my side. Let's go home, alright? Okay. But can we stop for ice cream first? I get an employee discount on everything, you know. Sure. They have the best new type of ice cream sundae now. We should split one. Sounds good. My smile grew brighter as pleasant thoughts passed through my mind. He mounted his motorcycle and I sat on the back, wrapping my arms around his middle and holding on tightly. I rested my head against his broad shoulders and let a contented sigh escape my lips as the engine started up. Okay, there's a bad thing right here, dude. Neither one of you have headgear on, and you're on a motorcycle. Come on. I know it's not the law anymore, but still, it's common sense. I think it's still the law in Michigan, actually. The sun disappeared beneath the horizon, and the darkness of night began to overtake the sky. We sped out of the parking lot in less than a minute, and onto the nearly empty road that led back into town. The trees blurred as we flew down the road. We were only driving for a short while before a strange feeling of foreboding settled over me. I shivered involuntarily, despite the warm temperature, and squeezed Aaron tightly, watching as it got darker and darker on the one-way road. I was thinking of what to make for us for breakfast in the morning when we reached an intersection. We waited patiently for the light to change color, and when the green circle let off its artificial glow, Aaron resumed driving. We just entered the intersection when, very suddenly, I heard it. What? I looked up, eyes wide with confusion, to see another car barreling down the road, swerving back and forth as it approached us. Aaron tried to steer away from the oncoming vehicle, but there was no hope of evasion. The car made no attempt to brake as it passed through the red light and collided with us. All I remembered before the hellish sound of the crash and losing consciousness was Aaron turning the motorcycle to try and protect me from being directly hit. When I opened my eyes, the brightness of the lights above me were almost blinding. Though I had never spent very much time in a hospital, I recognized the scent of disinfectant and various other cleaners to be similar to what one smelled in a doctor's office. What? Where am I? It took me another moment of waiting for my eyes to adjust to the bright lights before I remembered what had happened. My eyes widened in horror at the vividness of the memory. Aaron! I sat upright abruptly, feeling a dull ache when I moved. A nurse out in the hallway heard my sudden cry and quickly hurried inside my room. Miss, please lay back down. You weren't seriously injured in the crash, but we would like you to rest before we decide if you're ready to be released. I'll be looking after you until that time comes. Your injuries are minimal, only minor bruising, but we can't let you leave just yet. We were in a car accident, right? That's correct, but please lay back down. We're very glad to see you conscious, but rest is imperative. I reluctantly laid back down, but I was completely awake and not letting the women leave before I heard a proper explanation. Can you tell me what happened? What about the man who was with me, Aaron? Is he okay? The nurse's expression seemed to darken slightly when I mentioned him, which made me worry even more. What happened? I have to know. I am not fully aware of the situation. I need to call Dr. Rayner. He can explain everything to you. I waited impatiently, dissatisfied with the nurse's quick departure. It only took a few moments for a handsome young man in a doctor's uniform to enter the room. I was surprised to see that he wasn't all that much older than Aaron and I, most likely a fresh graduate out of medical school. Good evening, Amy. I'm very glad to see you're awake. My name's Eddy Rayner, but you can call me Eddy. The man said with a warm smile, revealing perfectly white teeth. Yes, good evening. What time is it? Is it still Saturday? Actually, it's technically Sunday. It's 3 in the morning. I'd be happy to answer your questions, but you should probably get back to bed soon. I'm not doing anything until I find out what happened to Aaron. The young doctor's smile faded, his reaction much like the nurse's. Unable to hold back my growing worry, I found myself starting to yell as tears gathered in my eyes. I have to know what happened to him. Please, is he alright? Eddy stood up and nodded toward the door, motioning for me to follow. I felt my heart sink, then begin to fill with cold dread. He noticed the fear in my expression and gave me a brief explanation. I'd rather show you his current condition, but I assure you, he's fine and his life is in no danger. He has sustained a head injury. He will recover, and he doesn't seem to have done any severe damage, but he has lost some of his memories. I can't talk. We're still trying to observe the specifics of just what he has forgotten. As the nurse proudly told you, your injuries are minimal. Please follow me. I can take you to him so you can see that he is alright. I hurried, pulling on a pair of slippers that had been left beside my bed, and followed after the young doctor as he led me out of my hospital room and into the hallway, listening attentively to every word he said. From what I can tell, he was trying to protect you during the crash. We're keeping you overnight for observations, but other than some bruises, you're perfectly okay. You don't have any broken bones or severe internal bleeding, thanks to Aaron's efforts. I felt my heart wrench as I followed him through the hallways. He wasn't walking very quickly, apparently conscientious of how tired I felt. Aaron. From what I can tell, Aaron is suffering from amnesia. He still retains long-term memories, but recent ones from the past few years are hazy or non-existent. He's quite a bit confused at the moment, so we want to be sure not to cause him any unnecessary emotional stress. We need him to regain his memory on his own, but it will be in slow steps. I see. This is my studio. I know this is a lot to take in, so please feel free to ask me any questions you might have. He still remembers his family, but he doesn't seem to recall anything from recent years. You mean he doesn't remember me? I'm sorry. We asked him about having a girlfriend, but he doesn't seem to remember anyone by the name of Amy. I felt the tears I had been determined not to cry welling up again, ready to fall. I see. We walked through the doorway and into a room with a glass window that let me see into Aaron's room. I'm sorry to ask this of you, but since we don't want to cause him any grief or aggravate his condition, I must ask that you do not meet with him yet. He's very confused and needs rest. I understand. I remained there for a long time, watching him and letting tears silently slip down my cheeks as two nurses spoke to Aaron, who wore a perplexed expression. How could you forget all about me? Okay. There is the crazy intro. I knew what happened because I remembered from last time when I played. Okay, so let's get into the actual game. Oh my god. Alright, you can move between locations using the map. Right now, you can only return back to your home, but later in the game, you'll be able to move wherever you want. Okay, let's go home. I was released from the hospital in the morning and came right home. When I walked inside, I was greeted with a soft meow when my cat, Nina, brushed up against my leg. Hi, Nina. Did you miss me? I smiled and reached down to pet her affectionately, though I couldn't help but remember how Erin would always fuss over her. Nina was a great judge of character and she adored Erin, even before he started bringing treats for her all the time. Erin always loved cats so much. He loved big cats and little cats like you, but you were always his favorite kitty. Nina cuddled my fingers affectionately when I knelt down to pick her up. But Erin probably has forgotten about you too. The sadness I had been trying to keep out of the front of my mind returned as I pulled my cat into an embrace inside. I had slept very poorly and the fatigue from the crash hadn't worn off. I lost my parents in a car accident, and now it looks like I'm going to lose the man I love to one as well. I sat in the living room with Nina on my lap when Gwenda came in to comfort me. Oh, Amy, what happened? I briefly tell her about the accident. She was overjoyed to know that I was alright and that I had hardly been hurt. Oh, thank God you're okay. But why didn't you call me? The doctor said I was alright, and I didn't want you to worry about me. I'd been staying with my Aunt Gwenda for several years. Since my parents passed away when I was still young, Gwenda had taken care of me ever since. She's a kind woman, and I greatly appreciate how caring she had always been to me. However, her pension wasn't enough to fully pay for my college tuition, which is why I took the part-time job at the ice cream parlor. You can now make your first choice. Several icons will pop up, showing all the possible actions in the location. Whoa! On each icon, you'll see a brief description and the blah 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 blah. Some actions are available only during certain times. Gwenda goes to bed very early. It's now noon, so it's a good thing to do. Blah blah blah. Okay. Okay, so I can talk with Gwenda, read an old book, or cook something. Well, you know what always cheers me up is a good book, so let's do that.
Yes!
Yes! Amy, I prepared your favorite cake. Oh, dude. Thanks, Gwenda, but I'd like to stay alone for a while and rest, okay? I didn't sleep very well at the hospital. I had too much on my mind. That's fine. Get some rest. You can eat a piece of cake tomorrow morning before going to work. Good night. Oh, good night, Gwenda. I went to my bedroom with Nina in my arms and sat down at the desk. I picked a notebook up and decided to try and get my feelings under control in the most familiar way I knew, writing about them. Picked up a pen and started writing a poem. Your gentle touch, the warmth of your embrace, the passion of your kiss, precious times that felt ever so divine. I thought that they would never leave, but even though I can't reach you anymore, I can't open my eyes to find you there. I'll always have my memories. Though they are not as warm as the hands that always made me feel so safe, I know they will never disappear as you now have. My beloved, my heart is forever yours, even if you're lost, beyond where my trembling voice can reach you. Even if your memories fade or disappear into the darkness, I'll never forget the precious times when we faced the world together. My beloved, for today, for tomorrow, for the days that may never return, never forget the words we once exchanged. I love you. When I awoke that morning, I knew that I had to go to the ice cream parlor. It was Sunday, and I had a long shift at that time. Who the frick works at an ice cream parlor on Sunday? Okay. I considered calling out, knowing that they would understand if I explained the situation, but decided that it would be best to go in anyway. I could use the money. Otherwise, everyone would start to worry about me. I had no doubt that news of the accident was already traveling quickly. Gossip seemed to get around in town eerily fast. Okay, time to go to work. During summary, blah blah blah. Whatever. I got ready and arrived at the shop 15 minutes before the start of my shift. I hadn't wanted to dwell at home, though as soon as I walked in I knew I was too early. It was still early morning and there were only a few customers around. I was surprised to catch sight of a familiar face seated at one of the tables, apparently taking a break from work. Hey Amy, are you alright? I couldn't help but notice the genuine worry on his expression when he saw the bruises on my arms and legs. I appreciated his concern. Good morning, Lawrence. I'm doing okay. Are you sure? Those bruises look really painful. Yes, I'm sure. They really aren't as bad as they look. Really? I don't know if I could work with bruises that big. You're a strong woman. I can hardly feel them. Thanks, though. How did it happen? You aren't in any trouble, are you? Let's tell him. Well, I got in a car accident. What? When was that? How did it happen? I felt a little bad for worrying him, but the tenderness in his eyes made me feel slightly better. It was nice to know that there were people who cared. I decided to explain to him what had happened, since there was little secret to it. I was on a motorcycle with Aaron. He protected me when we got into the crash. That's why I'm not very badly hurt. It wasn't his fault. They think the other driver was drunk. That's terrible. How's Aaron? I haven't heard anything about him recently. Actually, Aaron suffered a head injury. He has amnesia now. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. How bad is it? Will he recover? They think he will. Luckily, it isn't too extensive, but he doesn't remember me anymore. Lawrence's eyes widened slightly when I revealed the cost of Aaron's protection. Amy. It's not so bad, though. Thanks for worrying about me, Lawrence. Relationship changed! 5+ to Lawrence White! Hell yeah. He's good now instead of bad. It's really nice to see people who still care, but I've got to start my shift. I'll talk to you more later. See you later. He seemed like a nice guy. During the summer, Amy works part-time from morning to noon, from Monday to Friday, as a waitress in an ice cream parlor owned by an old friend of Gwenda's. Wait a second. Why are we here on Sunday then? Oh no, it is Monday. Never mind. I'm stupid. She gets paid only with tips, usually around $5 each turn. Being kind to the customers will earn her more money, so depending on her mood, she can earn more. There are good and bad days, but in general, working will always lower her energy by a good amount and morale by a small amount. This energy can be restored in several ways. Some are drinking or eating, relaxing or taking a nap at home, and at end of day, every day when you get in bed. There are other ways to gain both energy and morale, and also improve Amy's stats, but discovering them is part of the fun of playing the game. Now the workday will start, and you'll see the results. If this first week goes bad, don't worry. This is normal since Amy's morale is very low because of what just happened. Failure. I could do much better than this. Oh crap, my morale went down by 5. But I got some money though. Oh crap, I wasn't really in the right mood to be kind to the customers. Crap, at least I'm earning money. At noon your regular shift is over, but you can come here again and decide to do overtime if you have enough morale and energy until evening. Well, I don't have it at all. You can also come here anytime to perform other actions like talking with Lawrence, who works here full-time every day until evening, or get an ice cream for yourself. Remember though, that doing overtime is a very stressing action, and if your morale is low, it's really a bad idea, even in real life. I still feel weak. It'll be better if I get back home now. I don't think they would allow me to see Aaron yet anyway. Time to go home. When I get home after work, I found the house empty except for my cat Nina. Nina and I went up to my room and I turned the computer on to check my email, mostly to see if there was any news from Aaron's family or the hospital. I knew it was rather unlikely to have more correspondence from them so soon, but couldn't help but hold on to the hope that there would be something new. I sat down at my desk and looked around my inbox, scanning the titles and senders of the new and unread messages I found when I saw there was nothing new from Eddy or anyone else from the hospital crew. Nothing good, too bad. I decided to do some research on amnesia. It took a while before I found anything interesting, but after a bit of searching around, I found the following explanations about the basics of amnesia. Amnesia is a condition in which memory is disturbed or lost completely. People can forget about things they did, or they will simply fail to remember the things they are currently doing in the near future. I kept reading, but only got confused from the more complicated medical terms. I was distracted from my reading when a small notification box saying I had a new email popped up. What the heck? Secret admirer? What is this crap? I clicked it a bit absent-mindedly since the address was unknown. Maybe I shouldn't open it. It could be a virus or spam. Well, usually a spam inbox takes care of that, right? Nina hopped up onto the desk and meowed rather loudly. Well, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to see what it is, right? Nina? I opened the email, eyeing the unknown address warily. The message was simple and written in plain black text. Hey there, Amy. I hear you're quite the poet. I'd love to read more of your work, but you don't really share it with anyone, do you? I'm a big fan, and your secret admirer, as the saying goes. Keep writing, girl. The hell, who is this guy? Or girl? I'm just gonna ignore it. Let them carry on. Don't want to crush their dreams. I shook my head slightly and clicked back to the inbox, deciding to ignore the unusual message. I was about to check my book review blog when the computer shut down. Oh, mother. Tried to restart it several times, but nothing happened. My computer just had to break at a time like this. For a moment I thought it might have been a virus from the mysterious email, but then realized that was silly. The computer wouldn't even turn on, so the failure was clearly in the hardware. Clearly. Nina, still sitting on my desk, gave me a puzzled look. Don't look at me like that, Nina. I will punch you. Right in the nostril. Great. Now I won't be able to check my email or blog from my home anymore. Freaking crap. My Tumblr's gonna die. Aww. I failed at using a computer. Damn it. I must go to sleep now. Tomorrow I have to work. Okay. Well, we got some culture somehow. I don't know how that happened. And +5 to this dude. I don't know who the hell that is. That's Eddy and Aaron. Maybe that's my secret admirer? Okie dokie. Well, we finished the first day. So, I guess I will see you guys next week. I think this is as far as I got in the demo. Oh, what the hell. Whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, rate, subscribe, look at stuff, and I will see you guys whenever I see you.